I am absolutely over the moon to introduce our first guest this evening. You might know him as one of the top 3 shadow boxers in New Zealand, or you might know him as the All Blacks and Crusaders 10 and recent Centurion out of the Canterbury Crusaders. It's the man himself, Richie Mwanga. Richie, how are you, brother?
Good evening, lads. Kia ora.
Mate, awesome. Thanks so much for joining us, Richie. It's been a huge... I'd say a week and a half for you. We wanted to get you on last week, but you were just getting pulled in every direction, obviously, with your 100th game on the weekend just gone. Mate, 100 games for the Crusaders. Christchurch boy, born and bred. You must be absolutely chuffed.
Bro, I just been saying it all last week. Just how proud I am to have achieved such a huge milestone. To be the 24th Centurion in the Crusaders Rugby Club, a special moment for me and my family. And as soon as I became a Crusader, it was one thing I wanted to get ticked off. So to have it all done, it really was pretty special.
Well, I want to actually ask you, Richie. I mean, I touched on a Christchurch boy, born and bred, but we've got some footage here of you walking out in front of a PAC stadium with your kids. You've got the schoolboys from your old school saying, yeah, absolutely pumped to be there. And then you walk out to a haka from your old school, St. Andrews. And of all the teams you're playing Moana Pacifica when you've got both Samoan and Tongan heritage. I mean, that is just fairy tale stuff right there, isn't it?
It's I'm proud to be from Christchurch. Whenever people ask me where I'm from, I say Christchurch, and they're like, "Are you actually from Christchurch? Aren't you from Auckland or Wellington?" So they're pretty surprised, an islander like me to be born here in Christchurch. But I'm so proud of my roots, where I'm from. I write UPL on my wrist every time I play, and that's the suburb that I'm from here in Christchurch. So to have my school doing the haka, my kids in my arms, my family behind me watching, and against a quality team like Moana. It just was a huge and special moment I'll never forget in my life.
On being a Crusader local, do you reckon you give us a little verse of Scribe Crusader?
Tee it up, Zach, tee it up.
1, 2, yes,
1, 2, yes.
He's back.
Scribble. Back. The fire from Hampshire. I'm from Christchurch, the place of my birth.
He's done it, baby.
I love that. We're actually getting Bucky on the side. Like, I feel that.
Everyone's nodding their head. That's a banger, man. That's a banger.
It's actually funny you did go along to that, Richie. So Knuckles, who's part of the Pig Athletic Club, lives in Christchurch, and he actually requested we ask that because he was like, I guarantee everyone from Christchurch, it's his theory that everyone from Christchurch knows every lyric to that song, and I think you've just proved it.
Except the Barlangers.
Yeah. Scribe himself's a proud Cantabrian, and he sent me a message before the game. He was actually at the game, so
love it.
He always messages saying, he wants to perform at one of the games, and from my early days being a Crusader supporter, that was the anthem and the album, The Crusader. So big ups to Scribble.
Good.
Sick.
No, just a quick question, just around obviously last week.
Here he is.
No. I'm gonna go serious. Hey, this is a 2-part question, all right? This is a 2-part question. So the first one is this. This is a serious question, but I just wanted to know, what was the lead up like, from the community and from your family leading up to this, knowing that it was a big game for you? What was the lead up like leading it? Did it feel like a normal game? Did it feel like just a, everyday? Okay, like obviously. Going into it, did it feel normal to you, or did you know that this was a big monumental, occasion for you?
Oh, but let's just say, like after it finished, I said to my wife, man, thank fuck that's over. Like it was just, it was just overwhelming, and all the cameras and stuff were around, and had cameras at home, had people doing a doco that were here.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. I try to act like it was normal, but had to be realistic and sort of set the week around. This is what was happening.
Yeah.
And it was all nice and lovely, but I had to be real clear with, as soon as the whistle goes, all that's done. all the hype's done, and now I've got to, do my job and let's play good footy, and we're to be on our A game to beat the Moana side.
Hey, I'll just quickly jump in there. Richie, congrats on the 100, mate. It's an incredible feat, and, mate, what a game to play and play the way you did. It was absolutely incredible. Love watching it for you. For me, mate, I'm coaching a couple of Colts down at West right now, and sort of for you, going into that game, you came out and you looked like you were just playing, mate, because you loved it. What sort of processes do you go through, and how do you mentally prepare for when you come into those games? Because when you go out, you look so relaxed and so calm. What is it that you do to get yourself ready for a game like that?
Bro, it's just genuine prep. Like a lot of people say, a lot of footy players or athletes say genuine prep, but it really is that, to allow myself to, when the whistle blows on a Saturday or Friday, whatever, I'm locked in. I'm so clear with how our team wants to play, what my role is, and then I let instincts do the rest. And as a driver of the team, as a 10, a general, it's important that I know the basics and the strategy, what we want to do in each area of the field, so that come game time, I'm not worrying about that. I'm just playing off instinct. I've had games where you think too much, you try and overplay your hand. Yeah. And for me, I've found when I'm playing my best, it's all natural. I let go.
Absolutely.
I see something, I do it. I back myself. I have a coach behind me and a team behind me that backs whatever decision I make. So it's important to get to that point at the end of the week, knowing that you put the book away and you just go and have some fun.
Mate, keep doing what you're doing, mate, because I love watching your footy, mate.
Yeah. Now you talk about
just don't do it for the All Blacks.
Don't do it against the Wallabies, please.
No, so hearing that, we hear that you're quite professional in everything that you do, and obviously with professionalism comes a bit of fame. Have you ever used your fame to get out of trouble?
This is so.
And if so, can you tell us the story around how you used your fame to get out of trouble?
It seems like you already have an answer for this.
What do you know that we don't?
Nah, I mean, locked and loaded.
Shit, cramping.
There's a few answers I won't say on here, but
Wait, you've used it that many times? Nah, I'm just kidding.
I only used it in Brizzy, to be honest.
Okay, so it happened in Brisbane. Okay.
I used it at the West Club the other week when I was saying how shocking the fields were.
Wow. Oh, that one hurt.
That's all right, mate. Wayno, we'll talk to Wayno.
We'll talk to Wayno. Wayne, is that you? Yeah.
It's the fake grass.
Yeah, up west. Yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Richie, mate, it seemed as though on your 100th game, every time you looked up to have to tackle someone, that 14 from the Drua, that stocky bloke, Tava, no eye. The Sevu Reese plus 20 kilos bloke, every single tackle you had to do, you had to come across and belt him. Mate, has there ever been someone that you had to do a covered tackle on that you kind of went, my shoulder's a bit stingy, or my shin splints are flaring up, I don't really want to tackle this bloke?
It happens every week. Obviously, I'm not the man in stature. But, as much as I can, I'd call the drift defense and I'd be like, drift.
More onto my guy. Yeah.
I was doing that when Jimmy was running down, but I was actually running towards the sideline, so there was no one else to tackle. So,
oh, no. It's me.
Tough going.
What was that experience like going to Fiji? Obviously, you got the L that weekend, but what's in the water over there when you go there and run out in the field against the Drua? And that intensity and the loudness of the crowd, they just obviously just go superhuman.
All right, it's like a performance like that against Crusaders is not surprising at all.
Yeah.
To me, it's not surprising at all. Playing in Fiji against Drua, who was their first home game in Lautoka, which is even more special. And when they have performances like that, it's just, I'm not surprised at all because of the caliber of players that they have, obviously the coaching that they have now, the direction that their club's going in. In a past life, I actually think I was Fijian, so I kind of but it's just awesome to see. They've given so much to world rugby in terms of every team in Europe there's a Fijian on the field playing, Lucy or on the wing, and they're their best players. And it's just awesome to see a team like Drua performing like that, and like they've got more to give. Like they got more to give. Like you see in their seven outfit at the moment, like every team that puts out on a circuit, 3 or 4 of them are signed with French clubs. So they're giving so much, and they got more to give. And to see them performing the way they are is just not surprising. But I'm also very happy for the ballers, for the drills.
I'll jump on the back of Darcy here, mate. Have you ever been on attack and sort of looked up and gone to someone, looked up and you're looking at the defense and you're looking to pass and then seen one of your teammates and been like, I'm just going to carry instead? There was one person, who would it be?
Who's the Daewoo?
Who's the Freeney?
Bro, it's the name, honestly, man. Like, I get myself in some sticky situations where boys are like, bro, just make a decision. Like, you go to the line, you want to pass or you want to... But one person that I would give the ball away, like if he was in front of me, would be Shannon Frizzell. Like, he has my number, right? Like, we're best as a friend. But, like, he's such a prick when we play against him. Actually, Levi Almore got me good last week.
Now that he's thinking about it,
Who's someone that
Levi after the game? Yeah, he was a bit chuffed about that, I think.
Like, who's someone that you'd want to throw a hospital pass for? Like, just be like, you haven't done your job, I'll just throw you a hospital pass.
You can't say JT.
Smitty's the other. If there was one in our team, it would be Severis. I'd love to. I'd love to just chuck up and under for him and just
give him a bit of a rib rattler. Richie, I just want to ask you, mate. So we had Big Nella, Tony Alatupo, on the show a few weeks ago, and obviously he came up through Sacred Heart there, and he was talking about, being this superstar, this prospect the whole way through. You sort of have had a different career path. I mean, 3 years of first 15 at St Andrews is one thing, but you really had to bide your time through that NPC setup, and then by the time you got a full-time contract in 2015, you had Tom Taylor, Colin Slade, and Dan Carter in front of you. And it wasn't until all three of them pissed off at the end of the season you got a Guernsey, and you've kicked on since then. But I just want to get your thoughts on like, how, like, is it difficult to try to bide your time through that system there, or... Like, it must be really difficult sometimes to obviously have arguably the greatest rugby player of all time ahead of you, plus 2 other bona fide All Blacks in front of you. Like, take us through the process of having to sort of sit there on the bench and like, watch day in, day out these guys ahead of you before you can really get an opportunity to shine.
Bro, like, to me, from the perspective that I had when I was a bit younger was... like how lucky I was to be in that position. Like there was no negative spin to that. Like being in behind Carter, Colin Slade, Tyler Blundell, Tom Taylor, like it was like more like how lucky am I to be here learning from these guys. So it was more the perspective I had. Like I didn't make New Zealand secondary schools, and at the time I didn't make it. I got told over the phone and I was crying in the car, man. Like it was like I thought to myself, like, this is the end of my rugby career. Because usually what happens when you play school footy, the boys they kick on to secondary schools and then they end up playing Super Rugby and they play for the All Blacks. Like that was the pathway. That's just what happened to all the great players that played in secondary schools. So it was hard for me to take, but being from Christchurch, as I said, I was only ever going to play for the Crusaders, and it didn't matter how long it took. It didn't matter how hard the journey was ahead. I was so focused to becoming a Crusader, and things went my way. Like I waited a bit. I did my time. Yeah. I learned a whole lot, and then it just happened that all of them left at the same time, and it wasn't easy going. Even when I got the gig, like I had a terrible year. 2016, I started every game, but I was goal kicking like I was bloody Stevie Wonder. I didn't know what I was doing. It was all over my head, and through that tough time and that tough period, I learned a lot, and I got to where I am now, which is where I knew I was going to be. Without sounding like an arrogant prick, like it just was the vision I had, and nothing was going to stop me to get here. So I was grateful for those hardships because it made me the man I am today.
Hell yeah. I just want to ask as well, Richie, who was the guy that made the secondary schools team ahead of you?
Yeah.
There was two. There was a Bodin Waka and Otere Black. So Otere playing in Japan at the moment, and
Not playing for the All Blacks though, so showed him.
Sucks to suck, bro.
They are players.
Yeah, bloody oath, mate. That's crazy. And also, I mean, announced a month or so ago, your coach of the past half a decade, if not more, when you consider his NPC involvement. Razor Robertson's been announced as the All Blacks coach post the Rugby World Cup. I mean, the ride that you and he have been on, at the Crusaders and Canterbury NPC and all that sort of stuff is absolutely wild, and it looks like it's going to extend on further with the All Blacks. You must be absolutely chuffed for him.
Oh man, I'm so proud. Like obviously we've been through a lot, Canterbury and Crusaders, and you always sort of think it's one way. Like he's seen me progress as a player and as a human being, and he's seen me take my rugby to higher honours. That he was always so happy, to see me do that, and then to see him get the recognition that he deserves, and to be in a position where he can have like huge influence. Like I'm just real proud, and he's more than capable to do. He'll do whatever he wants with this team. He'll make this team an awesome team.
A couple of questions from the crowd. I think you already answered it before, but what does UPR stand for on your wristband?
It's just the suburb, Upper Riccarton.
Oh, yeah.
UPR.
And another one. Are you 676 or 685?
Say 679. Say 679.
6'9", my.
You heard it here.
That's Cap because I play with his brother in Queensland, Tonga. Thank you very much.
Oh, sorry.
Richie, maybe before we get to the fast five questions, does Cody Taylor have a running tab with you where every try that you basically hand him when you draw and pass the last man, you look to your right and there's Cody Taylor running onto the ball? Does he owe you so many beers from all the tries you've just handed him?
That one up. It's ridiculous, Like how often
he's just there
on my shoulder.
Holding with.
Yeah, okay.
I'll stick up for him.
Work smarter, not harder.
The disappointing thing, I can't finish them myself. I don't have the skills or the speed like some other boys to finish these tries off. So I'm always having a look inside.
Mate, I've just got 5 quickfire questions where just say the answer, the first answer that comes to your mind. Mate, who's the worst player to room with?
George Bauer.
There you go, mate. If you could pick one sportsman from any other sport to come and play rugby with you at the Crusaders, who would it be? Any other sport?
Israel Adesanya.
Oh, got it.
Win the fight, that's for sure.
Biggest influence on your career so far?
My dad.
Love it, mate. If you had to get rid of one of these two, which one would it be? L&P or pineapple lumps?
Pineapple lumps.
Oh, straight up. Didn't even think about it. That's harsh. Mate, of these haircuts from over your career, you're currently rocking... Oh, put it up. You're currently... There we go. That's when you started. You're currently rocking I'd call it more of a business crop, but if we go through these ones... There we go. There's a bit of product in there.
Bit of Dax.
Here we go. There's the
short back and sides.
Oh, this one.
I like that one.
It's this one. Oh, there's a bit of volume at the back there. There we go.
Oh,
Look at that. Side profile.
Which one? If you could have one back right now, which one would it be?
definitely the mullet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, and then this is the final one. I used to drive past a seafood place in Zilmia, and outside the shop was a sign that said, "Hey, bro, fresh kina." What is kina? Do you know? Do you know what is kina or kina?
Keener, they're probably asking, are you keen or?
Is it an urchin thing? Is
Keen
that
on that.
sea urchin, kina?
You're talking to someone that doesn't eat any seafood or. I don't like mussels or oysters. But it is a delicacy here in New Zealand. Like it's if you're eating that, you're eating well, man.
Okay, all right, that's it.
Hell yeah.
Great questions.
You nailed it, Das. You rounded it out beautifully. Well done. Richie, mate, on behalf of everybody here at the PAC Rugby Show, thanks so much for dialing and having a yarn to us, especially after your 100th game, mate. It's absolutely awesome, and congratulations on that, and all the best for the All Blacks up until the World Cup, and then maybe die off a little bit, and then all the best after that. But, mate, thanks for joining us, brother.
Cheers, mate.
You fellas, appreciate you guys having me.
No, we
Thanks,
appreciate
man.
it.
We love you.
Bless you,
Thanks,
Richie.
Richie.
Rich Mwang, everybody. Yeah!